So let's talk about Pluto in Aquarius. This is the power to the people. So Pluto in Aquarius from 2023, it peaked in and out from 2023 a few times to 2044. And as we say, Aquarius is power to the people. But who are the people? Right? Who are the people? Because power to the people way back when were white people, white men only. Women didn't have the right to vote. Black people weren't even considered people, right? And so who are the people now? Pluto doesn't do subtle. It burns everything to the ground. It transforms it to ashes and builds something entirely new, like a phoenix. And now it's in Aquarius. This is the sign of revolution, technology, and the collective. So the systems that we thought were permanent, they are about to get a full-blown cosmic teardown. The old ways of power and business and leadership, those are done. We're stepping into a new era where power is shifting to the people. But let's get real. Who are the people? Quote unquote, the people, right? So let's talk about what happened last time Pluto was in Aquarius. Because Pluto takes around 250 years to orbit around the sun, right? And it's not a very equalized orbit by any means. And so it could spend a short period of time in some astrological houses and a longer period of time in other astrological houses. But the last time it was in Aquarius was 1778 till 1798. So once again, this was the American and the French revolutions. People rose up against the outdated power structures and they demanded something new. And spoiler alert, they got it. We saw the Industrial Revolution gain momentum because that was what was meant to happen in that era. So machines started replacing manual labor, shifting economies and power structures, right? We saw a lot of these machines doing the hard work that other people were doing. And it's funny when we think about, oh, how life was hard in this era, but life was even harder in this era, but they're all equally hard, just in different ways. We saw massive breakthroughs in science and innovation. So we saw electricity and chemistry and the first concepts of modern democracy emerge. So every time Pluto moves into Aquarius, the world stops playing by the old rules. Power shifts, revolutions spark, and technology takes a quantum leap. Now, just a quick story here. So Aquarius is my sun sign. And interesting enough, Pluto hits my sun sign in 2027 when I turn 50. So when I'm coming off the roof in human design. It's also in my second house of self-worth and value and worth and value. And how interesting that in 2025, I became debt-free, paid off all my debt. I've been having the best financial year that I've ever had in my entire life. So I'm seeing this in my own life, in my own house, especially in the second house. When Pluto was in Capricorn, that was in my first house of image, of identity. And I shifted from being a mother and a healthcare worker into a new paradigm leader. And so it's really funny how you can see it in the big society, in the big picture, but you can also see how these planets change you personally as well. So what can we expect with Pluto in Aquarius? Decentralized power, right? So governments and corporations and institutions will lose control as people find ways to self-organize, create wealth, and build influence without the middleman, without the hierarchy. So we're thinking Web3, crypto, decentralized businesses, and collective leadership models. And this is something that I am going to be talking about throughout this entire book, program, everything. The way that we're going to see leadership shift and the way that we are stepping up as the new leaders. I could go on and on about that. We're going to see some AI and tech revolution, obviously. So we've seen like 2023 AI came online, right? ChatGPT came online, big advancement. But the biggest advancements in history is happening right now. AI is already changing everything, and we haven't even scratched the surface yet. So we're going to expect radical shifts in how we work, how we communicate, and even exist. I heard about a hospital, I think this was in China. I can't remember where this hospital was, but there's a hospital where there's this little computer on a trolley that is the doctor. Now, it's a real doctor, but he doesn't go to room. Now he just does it in his office, could be even across the globe, but he's seeing patients through Zoom while they're in the hospital. That's just one example of the things that we're going to be seeing. We're going to see new economic systems because money is about to change big time. Okay, traditional banks, we're going to see them bye-bye. We have already been seeing this since 2008 as Pluto left Sagittarius. Sagittarius is like the Hummers, the big houses. Everybody was like, go big or go home. And everybody bought all these big houses and big Hummers. And then Pluto went into Capricorn. There was no money. So then all of those got foreclosed. And so now we're seeing with Pluto moving out of Capricorn, this is the big businesses, this is the corporations, this is the banks, this is the health system, this is the educational system. Bye-bye. We're seeing that break off. And we're going to be going into individualized and personalized and value systemized individual pockets of these new systems being created, like homeschooling, wellness centers, crowdfunding, right? We're seeing different ways to get what we want away from the big corporations. We're going to see community over individualization. Within the last decades, focused on personal brands and solo success, right? The era is about collaboration, about shared wealth and collective movements. Now, since 2020, I've always been involved in some sort of a collaboration, some sort of shared wealth and a collective. So for instance, I love summits. I love bundles. I love any way where we can get a whole bunch of beautiful, wonderful people together and create something that can create massive impact in the world, right? So whether you're creating a course, it's not just one person creating a course, it's many people creating a course. We're seeing this in books where everybody is contributing a chapter, right? We're seeing this in so many different ways. And it's going to be really interesting when we see not just the individual soulpreneur, but my business is called Soulprism Collective for a reason, because I'm holding space for the collective to come. I don't know who they are yet, but I'm holding space because I know that other people will be building out Soulprism Collective, and it's not just me. My job is to hold the space for it. My job is to hold the dream for it and to be a lighthouse for those that are ready to step into their leadership and to contribute to Soulprism community. Once again, I have no idea how this is going to look like. I just know that's the dream. I just know that I'm just here holding the space, and it with no expectations. It will come when it comes. It'll look how it looks. I'm just here to hold that. Super excited about that. A reckoning with control and privacy. Pluto just doesn't give power back. It tests who's ready for it. This is why it's been so important in the last 5 years, doing that inner work, changing that mindset, changing your beliefs, because we are working towards this. So expect massive debates around surveillance, privacy, and who really owns digital identities. The fine line between liberation and control will be one of the biggest themes of this transit. When I left long-term care, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons was that family members were starting to bring cameras into the nursing home, right? So that they could watch us taking care of their family member. And I understand that maybe there was safety concerns or whatnot, but it really had me thinking, like, with AI and with everything that's going on, we don't know the integrity, the mental health of the family member that has this video. We don't know what they're doing with it. We don't know what they're seeing. And it really made me feel very uncomfortable. A, that they didn't trust that I was caring for their loved one. B, with these cameras, they can see body parts, private body parts of their family member. And I didn't feel comfortable with that being aired. I don't know what they're thinking, how they're going to reframe it, or what they're going to do with it, right? Because it's not always just grandmas and grandpas. We have many different ages, and it just didn't feel very comfortable. And when I think about the future of senior living and senior care, it is going to be where there's cameras everywhere. When I work in the hospital, there's cameras everywhere except for the rooms, right? There's no cameras in the rooms themselves unless you are in ICU, but there's cameras everywhere. And so for me, it's who's watching these, and maybe we need to have a little bit more of policy around where these cameras are, who gets access to them. But we're going to see a lot more of this. We're seeing doorbell cameras, we're seeing cameras everywhere. You can't go down the street without a camera taking a picture of you. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this is going to play out, and our own sovereignty in whether we want our pictures being taken, whether or not we want our, what did he call it? Okay. Anyway. Okay, so what does this mean for you as a soulpreneur? Well, your business needs to be built for the future. We've been saying this the entire presentation. If you're still running on old school business models, rigid systems, or control-based marketing, you're gonna get a wake-up call, because as I said, this era is all about being adaptable, being collaborative, and being innovative. And I'm going to be talking about how to do that, how to be the lighthouse, how to find these opportunities for you to collaborate with others. The community will make you or break you. Gone are the days of the solo guru on a pedestal. People want connection, they want collective support, and they want to co-create. They want to create together. So the strongest brands will be movements, not just businesses. Okay, so we're talking legacy businesses that become a movement. The brand becomes a movement rather than just a brick and mortar business. New business models will thrive on AI assistant offers, decentralized education, community-led membership models, and collaborative wealth creation. This is where we are heading. So I was talking about homeschools. Even in the Soulprism membership, there is a whole section of AI prompts, ChatGPT prompts, that can literally help you go from finding out your passion is your purpose, finding about your human design, because the human design is the how your energy is meant to work, and then looking at the astrology, because the astrology is the when things are meant to move through your life. And then using these to create your business model. And so we're not looking at, these are my five pillars, or these are my 5 steps. It's what is your 5 steps? Because you don't need to follow someone else's 5 steps. You're going to do your own 5 steps. So creating your own way of creating your business that's in alignment with you, not with other people's templates, not with what other people are doing. And AI can assist you with that, especially with prompting you with the right prompts that are going to make you think outside the box. And that's how I like to use AI. Yes, I use AI to do some research for me. I have to double, triple check it sometimes, but it's like, how can AI help me think outside of my limitation, outside of my own box, and stretch my capacity? So It's really going to be interesting to see how these new models, these new business models will be thriving, whether this is through technology or lack of, because we're still going to see the polarity of it, right? So your leadership must evolve. People will sniff out authenticity from a mile away. If you're not fully embodied in your mission, you'll struggle to build trust. Success in this era will belong to those who lead with truth, with transparency, and with transformation. So once again, it's not trading time for money. I put in this much effort, I put in this much work, I put in this much hustle. It's what is the transformation that you are co-creating, that you are facilitating, that you are helping with, that you are guiding, right? Or what is the experience, or what is the product, right? It's truly about the transformation or the product that you are sharing, and not the back end of how much work you've done. Because the back end stuff, a lot of the back end stuff of your business, people, can be built by AI and can be AI driven, so that you can be in the front, being authentic, being you, making those contributions, creating that community, and let the AI do the back end of your business.